Hey gang, it's JC, and this is the Daily Dose for Thursday, September 29, 2011, a combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. Great television archives, top of the page, our eye candy feature right below, and our rock and roll poll question, which we'll get to here in just a minute. But everybody's smiling today, man, oh man. You know, love him or hate him, you really give a lot of credit to Tony La Russa in a situation like this. And I know people are going to go, what are you talking about? Come on, his team was 10.5 games out of first place in the Central Division of the National League a month ago, and now they win the wild card last night. There's a lot of people drawing a lot of similarities to the 1964 season and stuff like that. Well, things are different. Let's remember the Cardinals did not win the division, okay? We squeaked in on the wild card, but we did win like 18 games in September, so that's pretty good stuff. And you got to, you know, yes, obviously Tony doesn't play the game. He manages. It's the players that play. But it would have been very easy for this team to just go, look, we suck. We're 10.5 games out of first place. What chance do we really have? Somehow, you know, at a managerial level and working without Dave Duncan, who was off for most of that period, somehow this whole thing came out. And here we go. Here we go. I only know that, you know, because they haven't even announced game times for this weekend, let alone next week here in St. Louis. We'll have a game in St. Louis on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, if necessary. That's where it gets into the sort of spooky talk there, if necessary. And all I know is the temperature is supposed to be like 80, 81 degrees next Tuesday and Wednesday. So game on, here we go. And we will be broadcasting live from downtown at Hooters on Tuesday and Wednesday if necessary. We'll just sort of see how this whole thing plays out. But we live in exciting times. It was an extraordinarily exciting time last night. And again, I'm one of the people who's not really crazy about the wild card thing, but you got to give credit where credit was due. It was one of the most exciting nights in the history of Major League Baseball last night, with all of these things hanging in the lurch. You had the Boston situation. You had obviously the thing with the Cardinals. It was very, very exciting last night. And wow. That's all I can say. It's all been said already. And of course, we go into baseball mode now on the Big 550 KTRS. You know, the guys who are at KMOX and 101 and stuff like that, KFNS, these guys are my friends. I like these guys. But you can't do what I do. You're just not in a position to do what I do. And yes, you need stations to do the stats and the sabermetrics and the matchups and the hard nuts and bolts of baseball. But when it comes to the pageantry, the excitement and stuff like that, you guys don't have what I have. You can't do what I do. The Big 550 KTRS, noon to 3 with Trish Gazelle every day. And I hope you listen, because we're going to have some fun here over the course of the next couple of days. So, as I said, as we sit here at a little bit after 10 o'clock on Thursday morning, we still don't even know what time the games are going to be played this weekend. You got the Rams playing at noon on Sunday. You've got 60 Minutes. You've got Dexter. You got Prohibition starting on PBS on Sunday night. There is a your ass is going to be as wide as your easy chair by the time this whole thing is over. But it is very, very exciting. All right. We'll get more about that in a little minute here. Dr. Conrad Murray on trial for the manslaughter case in Michael Jackson's deal there. 54% of you say yes, he is going to be convicted, and 46% of you say no. So pretty much down the middle, and that's what happens in these situations. Nobody has any idea until, you know, and then you think you're winning. They're 6 weeks into the trial, like, oh my God, it's leaning this one direction. The guy's going to fry, or whatever the case may be. And then all of a sudden, you know, the defense rests, and you know, you go to the prosecution rests, defense comes on, swings the other way. You have no idea what's going to happen. You got to wait for it to play out. But so it's about 50-50 on that. All right. Rock and roll poll question for today. Gasoline prices jumped 30 to 40 cents yesterday, and they are continuing to rise. What do you think the real reason is for the wild fluctuations that we see in gasoline prices? Here are your choices. A, things like changes in the price of crude, demand, value of the U.S. dollar, etc., stuff like that. B, competition among individual gas station operators. Or C, there are few real reasons. The whole system is rigged. Those are your three choices. Please answer down in the corner, and we'll have results for you tomorrow here on the Daily Dose on the Big 550 KTRS and anywhere else I can think of putting it. Of course, we have a Facebook page, The Showgram with JC Corcoran, and that's where you get updated on pretty much everything. All right, speaking of legal things, that we were just a moment ago with the Michael Jackson case, they say now that his two oldest kids, Paris and Prince were like standing right there while Michael Jackson checked out. It's like getting really ugly there. The Ashton Kutcher Demi Moore story is getting more and more interesting. They finally published a picture of this chick who allegedly boinked Ashton Kutcher a couple weeks back on their anniversary, by the way. And she's gotten a lawyer, and I don't know what's going on, but I will say one thing: if you're going to cheat on somebody who's good looking as that. How often do we see these situations where these guys are married and their wives are, at the absolute minimum, pleasant looking, and sometimes they're babes, and then you see this trash that they pick up, getting some on the side, and you're like, wow, that just didn't seem like a smart move. Well, if you're going to cheat on somebody who looks this good. The girl's she's like a 10 on that whole thing. Nicole Richie, breast implants. Does anybody care? Jason Alexander has copped to the whole thing about his hair. He obviously had to because, he's bald, and the next day he shows up and he's got a head full of hair. He says it's a combination of professional and practical reasons, the way he did it, and it is a hairpiece, not a transplant. Milton Bradley, formerly with the Los Angeles Dodgers, Chicago Cubs, a couple of other teams, arrested for swinging a bat at his wife. He missed. There is a star-studded romantic comedy coming out called New Year's Eve, and it's sort of a sequel to Valentine's Day. This is one of these things they used to do in the 70s a lot, where they would just get everybody who was available, every big star that was available, and just make a movie and just put everybody in it. Rarely did it actually work. It didn't work with Valentine's Day. I doubt that New Year's Eve with, let me take a breath, Jessica Biel, Halle Berry, Ashton Kutcher, Lea Michele, Robert De Niro, Katherine Heigl, Abigail Breslin, Hilary Swank, Sarah Jessica Parker, Zac Efron, Sofia Vergara, Michelle Pfeiffer, Josh Duhamel, Sienna Miller, Julie Andrews, Ice-T, John Lithgow, John Stamos, Ludacris, and Seth Meyers. It's doubtful that it will make any difference. Now you can Google and find out if somebody's gay. Listen to this. They basically, at Google, they dig through sources and other stuff that they say they have access to. So if you play around with it a little bit, you get Elton John, Ricky Martin, Lance Bass, Clay Aiken, Rosie O'Donnell, Jodie Foster, told ya, Lindsay Lohan, Anna Paquin, and David Bowie are listed as bisexual. The other ones are listed as gay. Now you punch in Hugh Jackman, Jake Gyllenhaal, James Franco, and they are all listed as straight. Okay, but here's the deal. You punch in Lady Gaga, Queen Latifah, Anderson Cooper, Kevin Spacey, Oprah, and Chaz Bono, and you get nothing. So what good is it, And there's no answer for Daniel Tosh on Comedy Central. Apparently a lot of people want to know if he's gay. Forbes.com has struck again with a list of TV's highest paid actresses. Tina Fey and Eva Longoria in first place, tied with $13 million. Jon Stewart tonight is going to have Tony Bennett. He was on the horns of a dilemma when he made some comments about 9/11 on Howard Stern's show. But he's just scored his very first #1 album, and he's the oldest living person to ever top the chart at 85 years old. The previous record holder, Bob Dylan, when Together Through Life debuted at #1 back in '09 when he was 67 years old. Simon Cowell says, Lady Gaga, Beyonce, and Katy Perry are boring singers. Well, thank you, Simon, for the guy who gave us Lee DeWyze and Taylor Hicks. Thank you very much for clearing that up for us. Mark Ballas filed one of those Us Magazine 25 Things You Didn't Know About Me surveys, and he says that his grandfather was the guy who invented the weed eater. Learn something every day. According to a new study, the average woman spends an average of $779 reinventing her image after she's dumped. That's split on a new haircut and style, tanning, clothes, shoes, makeup, manicures, pedicures, and a gym membership. The study also found that 6% of women have gotten plastic surgery after being dumped, and you can see all of them at the Brentwood Forest swimming pool. Detroit Lions are in a little trouble. They've got a mobile strip club that's been parked outside the stadium before the Lions games. The authorities have come in. There was a lot going on in that bus, by the way. Ugh. What else we got here? Prosecutors in the Conrad Murray manslaughter trial showed a picture of Michael Jackson's corpse, and they warned people ahead of time that it could be frightening to children. More frightening than what Michael Jackson looked like when he was alive? I mean, come on. Right? New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. That's like the biggest story in politics right now. Everybody wants him to run, and he says he's not going to. Christie says the biggest factor was when he realized the White House is not the same as White Castle. Doesn't look like he's going to throw his hat into the ring, although that would be the most exercise the guy has gotten in years. All right, what do we got here? JC's Eye Candy today in honor of your St. Louis Cardinals, and I am giving a lot of the credit to Tony La Russa. I don't care what anybody says. So we've gone back and we found his rookie card from 1968 with the Oakland A's, and also a picture of him back in the early 1980s when he was manager of the Chicago White Sox. And you can tell it's him, but boy, he sure looks different, man. They tell it, they always say that being president ages you, but man, try being a Major League Baseball manager. That man is 66. He's entitled to look like he's, been on the planet for a while. So everything is cool there. All right, rock and roll poll question. What about these gas prices? What's the real reason? Is there a real reason or is there not a real reason? Please answer in the corner, and we'll have results for you tomorrow. It's JC and Trish every day on the Big 550 KTRS from noon until 3 o'clock. So that's it, JC's Daily Dose for Thursday, September 29th, 2011. We'll see you at Hooters from noon to 3 on Tuesday prior to the Cardinal baseball game. In the meantime, we've beaten this one to death. Have a good one. See you later. Bye. Oh, almost forgot. Don't go. Almost forgot. Lester's tomorrow in the Central West End from noon till 3. So don't forget that either. All right. Now, all right, you can go now.